Yavaşça yürü bayım, yavaşça.
Coisinha.
ऐसे नहीं रोते, मैं हूं ना आपके साथ। नमस्ते नमस्ते।
आपका बर्थडे कब है?
एक दूसरे की जान है, इनका प्यार यहाँ की शान है।
ओ प्यारी अदाओं से वो दिल बहलाता है। दुनिया में आते जाते वो प्यार लुटाता है। सागर ने पूछा नैया से, नैया ने पूछा खेवैया से, सबसे प्यारा चंदा ने पूछा तारों से, तारों ने पूछा हजारों से, सबसे प्यारा कौन है? पापा, तेरे पापा, तेरे पापा।
I am here, Keela. Into this world we have come alone. और जाए भी अकेला. And in a similar manner, when we take our exit, we shall leave alone. 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. When we do take stock of our lives, we realize that this life is a very short visit from Mela. This is a world of strangers. No one is yours. Although everyone lives, I am still alone. आए भी अकेला और जाए भी अकेला.
त्वमेव माता सपिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा. आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला. 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला. 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला.
मुरारे राधे गोविंद कृष्ण
ऐसे नहीं रोते, मैं हूं ना आपके साथ। नमस्ते।
आपका बर्थडे कब है?
Kami baba na. Kami baba na. No,
एक दूसरे की जान है, इनका प्यार यहाँ की शान है।
हो प्यारी अदाओं से वो दिल बहलाता है।
दुनिया में आते जाते वो प्यार लुटाता है।
सागर ने पूछा नैया से, नैया ने पूछा खेवैया से,
सबसे प्यारा कौन?
Om Pavitri Suvesham Savitu Prasavu Punam Chitrena Tilakam Punya Papna Shanakara Hriti Om Keshavam Madhavam Achitam Govindai Namo Namaha Amritopasamasi Swaha Amritapidanamasi Swaha Sachimishashi Meshi Swaha Govindai Namo Namaha Pavitri Suvesham Savitu Prasavu Punam Chitrena Sveti Lakam Punya Papna Shanakara Hriti
प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणे ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृताम्बुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दना पाटुवत्सा सुधीर्भुक्तं दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतथा जेता जला गन्धारनिलोपला शल्यग्रहवती कृपेण वहिनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनीं सुदीर्णा कलुपानवैरणदीर्घे केशवा। पाराशर्यवचा सरोजममला गीतार्थगन्धोदकं नानाज्ञानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधना बोधितं। लोके सज्जनकत्परैर्हरः पेयमाना मुदा भूयर्भारत पंकजं कलिमला प्रज्वंसेन श्रेयसिं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलं गयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुता स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवै वेदैः साङ्गपराक्रमोपनिषदे गायन्ति यं सामगा। ज्ञानावस्थितर्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यशान्तं न विदुर्सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। आदिभूतं शिरोभावं पुरुषश्चादिदैवतम् आदियज्ञं ममेव मात्रवात्रः देहदेहभृताम्बरम्। अन्तकाले च मामेवं स्मरमुक्तः केवलं यः प्रयाति सा मद्भावं याति नास्त्यात्यत्र संशयम्। यं यं वाप्ति स्मरन्त भावं त्याजन्तयन्ते कालेर्वरं तं ममेवायुति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भवा भावभावितं। बोले श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की। I am reading a couple verses of Bhagavad Gita. From the 8th chapter, Bhagavan says to Arjuna, he says, O Arjuna, in this body I dwell within. So the Lord tells to you, within this body, He dwells within this body. He says, I am the inner witness to everything. I see all, I know all, I hear all. So he says, I am the inner witness to everything. He who departs from the body, thinking of me alone, even at the time of death, there is no doubt about this. So he tells to Arjuna, my dear devotees, Antakale me mawe smaranta mukta se kevalam. Even at the time of death, you can think of that Supreme Lord. Indeed, he says, there, O Arjuna, you will obtain that state of mukta, liberation or salvation. So he says, think about me even at the time of death. But let us be real. In the real world, any of you will think of God at the time of death? You are thinking about God while you live in. You want to think about Him at the time of death? You think that is possible? As I say, let us be real. We are not thinking about God whilst we are alive. So you think at the time of death you will think about Him? Devotees, true or not? Like all afraid. So all you want to even think to say true or false. So Bhagavan Krishna tells to Arjuna, he says, O Arjuna, he who departs from the body thinking of me at the time of death, there is no doubt about it. This is why he says in the next chapter, Manmana Mar Bhaktu, constantly think of me and you shall come unto me. But constantly thinking about God does not mean to say you cannot have problem in life, or you only see God at the time you have your stress and your distress and your problem. You don't only look for God when time you have trouble, bhai. And that is what most of people doing today. When I had trouble, then I go into God. But the day I had everything and I'm happy and I sit down nice, what happened? God, I'll put you a little bit tomorrow, could deal with you. So So you tell the Lord, tomorrow I will deal with you. And when the Lord says, when tomorrow comes, I will deal with you. You are not in control of this body. I will say it again. You are not in control of this body. Please say it after me. You are not in control of this. Why? The Lord is in control of this body. If the Lord says, Mr. Dennis, get up this morning, you will get up and reach here. If the Lord says, open your eyes, you will. Unfortunately, if the Lord says your heart have to stop beating, it will stop. So there are many people who believe them is God, you know. There are many people who believe them is beyond the Lord himself. And the Lord says, even at the time of death you think of me, you will come to me. Oh Arjuna, thinking of whatever else, and you leave this body at the time of death, you will attain that. Understand what he just said? Whatever you think of else at the time of death, that is what you will get. So you're starting to hold on to house and land and money and everything there, and you think about that at the time of death, what happened to you? I don't want to say, but you think. Everybody have a mind of their own, you think. Bhagavan says, my dear devotees, when one is absorbed in the thoughts of me, you will come to me. But at the time of death, when you are be absorbed in anything otherwise, you will go to that. Don't let nobody fool you and tell you, well, you want to know what you could come back in the last life? Go and save a little flower and put it under the man's bed. And if I tell you, that is one of the most foolish things I ever heard. I don't know where you get that practice from. But if a cockroach run across Ramhajo, you understand, devotees? The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, what you think of at the time of death, that is what you shall become. So be a good soul, think of God at the time of death. And this is why I say again, you are not in control of your body. So every day you have a breath to take, say thank God. Every day you wake up and you see a sunrise, say thank God. Every day you can eat a mouthful of food, say, because it have somebody will not do it. We know it, Bhaya. We hear it. Everybody here just go funeral and we hear the same thing over and over. And when time we change we clothes and we bathe and thing, well, you know, he done gone already. I had to live. How you living? Always remember you are living by the grace of. Always remember you are living by the grace of. Mean it, my bhai. Remember you are living by the grace of. Or you still I mean not one thing on the city. Because after this body pull out, all you doing all your own nonsense. And I have no apologies to make for what I just say. You know why? Human beings have become very, very ridiculous today. When we think a pandemic would change the mind and the attitudes of human beings to become better, Mr. Dennis, unfortunately, I see we going down a wrong road. They say, well, if pandemic could take we and kill we, buy, we eat and drink and merry whole day. Because if we get COVID and we dead, well, we full, we belly good. And if all you think that is the essence to life, please understand, you are going down a wrong road. Wake up here and realize I am not preaching religion to nobody, but I am preaching the way we live our life. Change it. You are not changing it for me. You are changing it for you. Be a better you. Be a better person. Uncle was from a generation of individuals people would fear in this village, you know. True or not? You get any man standing up like them now? He came from a generation was warriors, you know. All you know that. Me had to tell all the history. But he came from a generation of warriors who never stood up for nonsense. But today, the younger one, they getting drunk and they fighting for nonsense. Eh? But I stand up and fight for something that is right. Don't mind he was old. One day I come to the puja here, don't mind he was old. He said, Baba, if I was still young, I could have gone and fight, you know. I see him going and fight and thinking in his old age, right? So my dear devotees, I know that they came from a generation of warriors. I will put it in that word, warriors. Right? And in so doing, my dear devotees, even his brother over the road, all you know, he was a very notorious individual. When people just hear his name alone, they used to frighten. Now you are getting nobody, people hear your name alone, they say, well, who is he, boy? So my dear devotees, me I have much to say today. All I want to bring to you is the message. We live a life. Live a good life now. We live a life with God in it. Don't fear God. Many people today fear God. Why are you fearing God? It's either you fear God because of what we are doing. So we're afraid to go to God and say, God, forgive me of my trespasses and my distresses that I have caused upon the earth. So my dear devotees, I want you to take into consideration how you live your life. Please live it in such a way that today, tomorrow, somebody will say something good about you. Bole Sri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki. My dear devotees, in our midst, we have a very known individual to the village, Mr. Dennis Williams. He was one of my school teachers back then. It's nice to still see that he's around. Today I see him with an extra leg. But indeed, God bless him. I would like him to say a couple words to us.
Thank you very much, Babs. I am so delighted that you acknowledge me and you recognize me. I just want to pay my respect to a very good friend. And I know that all the friends Pui would have had, you know, he is affectionately called Pui. He had known them intimately. But in this time of bereavement, you know, it was Sunday evening. His son-in-law and son came to me not far from where I stayed in New York, and they asked me to convey their sincere condolences to this wonderful family from which they have come. So I say this because I know I'll be echoing the sentiments of so many of us present here today. Nothing could separate us from the love of God. That's why we are here. Our love for each other, our concern. And on the other hand, Baba has struck a very important point. As a realist, how we live. That is a sermon in itself. It's a message to the world, how we live. So that I would like to say, in bereavement, companionship is important. Come and visit the family, pray with them, talk about Pui, talk about the wonderful times you would have had. More importantly, what did you learn from him? What is the legacy of examples he has left? So I want to say in closing Best of luck to all of us. And Pooh's life could be summarized in about 4 lines. What the clock says. You ever look at a clock? And the clock is saying, as Pooh is saying to us, I serve thee here with all my might, to tell the hours by day and night. Therefore example take from me, to serve thy God as I serve thee. God bless.
Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So my dear devotees, I thank Mr. Dennis for his wonderful words. I always like to listen to his poetry. It brings so in-depth meaning, if you understand the in-depth meaning of it, from ever since in school days. So indeed, my dear devotees, at this time let us all please stand as we have our closing pratna. After which we'll allot a couple moments for those who wish to view or pay your final respects, beginning with members of the bereaved family first.
Yes, we have the eulogy.
Hari Om Sri Om Yam Brahma Viran Vido Varanti Param Pradhanam Pushantadani Vishurgate Karanam Ishwaram Matasmai Namo Vigna Vinashai Om Anadhani Dano Deva Sankha Chakra Gadadhara Akshaya Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Krishna Krishna Gatima Gatirna Bhava Sansarganagava Prasiddha Purushottamam Om Krishna Govindayam Vasudevayam Srinadhi Govindam Bhaji Tvameva Mata Shakita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Shasakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Holy Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki. You can kindly be seated. At this time we will have the eulogy being done, after which we will allot a couple moments for those who wish to view.
Mr. President, good morning to each and every one of you. The eulogy of the late RAMNARINE Mangroo, also known as Uncle Pooey.
No time to say goodbye. You were gone before we realized, and only God knows why. They say memories are golden, maybe that is true. We never wanted memories, we only wanted you. The family chain is broken, and nothing is the same. And God calls us one by one, the chain will link again.
RAMNARINE Mangroo was born on the 17th of August 1944 and passed away on Saturday the 12th of November 2022 at the age of 78. At the age of 5, he attended the Princestown CM School, now called the Princestown Presbyterian School No. 2. He started working as a laborer with Wassa at Pointe-a-Pierre. At the age of 21, he got married to his darling wife, Taramati of Mohis Road, Pinal. This happy union yielded 4 children, Pamela and Mahes of New York, and Nigel and Patricia of Princestown, Trinidad. He was the father-in-law of Mikey of New York and grandfather of Marissa, Megan, Brittany, Becky, and Gabriella, and the great-grandfather of Maribella. He also worked as a watchman for the Sugar Union and finally as a taxi driver right here in Lothians Road, Princestown. As a sideline, he labored in the family cane field and, of course, gardening. He loved his children and grandchildren very much. He enjoyed making cokes with his friends like Terry and the regular posse. His hobbies included fishing, horse racing, and a little of our local lotto and playway. In the field of music, he loved Oriental music and he liked to fish. In the line of food also, his favorite dishes were smoked herring, fried eggs, and zabuka choka with no onions. He was the last member of his sibling to pass away. He goes to join the late Budwa, Fisherman, Tao, Shagonas Didi, Sankoro Didi, and Tanti Darlin. May God bless their souls. We thank God for his life, work, and witness, and the rich legacy of example he has passed on to all of us. Love, hard work, honesty, willingness to provide for family needs, peaceful living, and most of all, his dedication to God. On behalf of his family, I would like to thank everyone, especially his nephew and nieces, who assisted in the wake and funeral, all those who called and offered their expressions of sympathy and thanks. You, Baba, his favorite pundit, for officiating today at the funeral. Today, we dedicate these lines in his memories. Uncle Pui, as he was fondly called, your memories is our keepsake, with which we'll never part. God has you in his keeping. We have you in our heart. Farewell, rest in peace until we meet again. I just have Pamela would like me to just read this for her on behalf of herself and the family. To everyone, Sitaram. On behalf of myself, my siblings, Naipol, Mahesh, and Patricia, and our mom, we would like to extend a special thanks to all of you, our relatives, be it our cousins, Baujis, brothers, second cousins, and our neighbors. You know who you are. Thank you for all the support that you have given us throughout this time, whether it was physically, emotionally, or spiritually. We appreciate all of you. We love you all, and we are very grateful for each and every one of you. You have made this so much easier for the family and I. Love always, Pamela and family.
So thank you very much for those humble words. And you have gotten a little gist in a nutshell of the life of Pui. And my dear devotees, at this time we will allow a couple moments for those who would like to pay your final respects. Sing a flower. And if you just wish to view, nothing is wrong, you can do so at that time. Boli Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. श्री राधे गोपाल भज मन श्री राधे गोपाल भज मन श्री राधे जय जय राधे 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 श्री राधे गोपाल भज मन श्री राधे गोपाल भज मन श्री राधे मंगल भवनय मंगलहारी द्रवहो सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम बरे भाग्य मानुष तन पावा सुरदूत लभ सब ग्रंथ ही गावा जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम. So after they have completed, if there is anyone who desires of personal power, you have the opportunity to do so. बिनु सात संग विवेकन होई राम कृपा बिनु सुलभन सोई जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम मंगल भवनय मंगल हारी द्रवहो सुदशरथ यजर बिहारी पिंजरे के पंछी रे तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई पिंजरे के पंछी रे तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई बाहर से तू खामोश रहे दो बाहर से तू खामोश रहे दो भीतर भीतर रोई दे भीतर भीतर रोए तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई कह न सके तू अपनी कहानी तेरे भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे ओ वो कह न सके तू अपनी कहानी, तेरे भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे। विधि न तेरी कथा लिखी, आंसू में कलमत होए, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। ओ पिंजरे के पंछी रे, ओ तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। चुप के रोने वाले, रखना छिपा के दिल की चाले रे। ओ चुप के रोने वाले, रखना छिपा के दिल की चाले रे। ये पत्थर का देश है बदले, कोई न तेरा हो, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। पिंजरे के पंछी रे, ओ तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई। Friends, Holy Sri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. So at this time I devotees, those who want to place the flowers, you can place the flowers. No more arti will be done because of time constraint.
What is top of that? Okay. To be seen and therefore the data not after getting a two gates on chocolate or why not? Okay. Nobody and half to not put on. Yes, you could have
कोई नाल जय धन पाल के घटरिया, कोई नाल जय धन पाल के घटरिया, 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 कोई नाल जय धन पाल के घटरिया। जब यमराज कलम कर गए थे, कोठरिया रे कोई ना ले जाए धनबान के घटरिया कोई ना ले जाए धनबान के घटरिया कोई ना ले जाए धनबान के घटरिया चार प्रहर मेरी साथ उठावे चार प्रहर मेरी साथ उठावे फूक दिया जशबन के लकड़िया फूक दिया जशबन के लकड़िया रे कोई नाल गए धनबान के घटरिया कोई नाले गए धनबान के घटरिया कोई नाले गए कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु कहत कबीर कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु टूट गए सब महल उतरिया टूट जाए सब महल उतरिया कोई नाले दे धनबान की घटरिया कोई नाले दे धनबान के घटरिया हर कोई नाले दे धनबान के
आए भी अकेला into this world we have come alone और जाए भी अकेला and in a similar manner when we take our exit we shall leave alone 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का नीला when we do take stock for our lives we realize that this life is a very short visit to a Mela. This is a world of strangers. No one is yours. Although everyone lives, I am still alone. आए भी अकेला और जाए भी अकेला
त्वमेव माता सविता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च तथा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव तूने दुख झेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला, आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, नेकी कदम कर ले, दुनिया के धरना हो, काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, नेकी कदम कर ले, दुनिया के धरना, पाप की अगन में तुझको काहे को धकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला, आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। हर की शरण तू हो जा, ध्यान लगा ले, हर की शरण तू हो जा, ध्यान लगा ले, जीवन मिले ना फिर ये, जीवन को पाले, हर की शरण तू हो जा, ध्यान लगा ले, जीवन मिले ना फिर ये, जीवन को पाले, खेल जगत का सारा उसी में है खेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।